Today, we need to talk about a serious topic. If you've got children and you've got firearms in the house, you need to talk to them at some point. Um, I'm going to tell you what I've done and what I've found works for me, let you know why I did it and kind of what reaction I got from my kids, and we'll go from there. I've got two kids, two daughters, they're 3 and 5, so age-wise, you kind of know where I'm coming from. Um, I I find it's very important to be honest and upfront with my kids. I'm not gonna pretend guns don't exist, for example. So they know that we have them in the house. They know what they are. They're too young. I haven't taken them out to go shooting yet, so that's just where they're at this point. But about a year ago, 6 months, a year ago, I ended up taking my older one and having a discussion with her about what guns are. And before this, I had to go get ideas of how to do it, get some information. So there was a lot of good information I found on forums and particularly on Reddit, a couple of the subreddits there. So I took a bunch of information, put it all together, and here's what I did. I actually grabbed one of my pistols, just a Glock, nothing special. No magazine in it, and I'd taken out the firing pin, but regardless, so that we had a visual there, and had my oldest daughter come over and sit down at the dinner table and asked her, if she knew what a gun was, and she's like, oh yes, and okay. So then I let her see and touch and handle one of our guns that had been made safe, and basically to let her know there's nothing to be afraid of, but then continue on with the discussion and tell her, these are something you need to take seriously. She's very interested in spiders, so I kind of made an analogy to a black widow. You can look, but don't touch. So, when she's out playing in the backyard, I don't want her touching spiders, but I also don't want her being afraid of them. So she'd been good with that. And so if she saw a black widow, she'd run inside and come tell me or my wife, and whatever. So I basically took that information and applied it to firearms in the sense of it's something that you don't have to be afraid of, but I don't want you to touch it, okay? Unless mommy and daddy are there, which is the same rule we have for spiders, okay? If she wants to hold a spider, come get one of us, and if it's safe, we'll give her the spider and she can hold it. Obviously, we're not going to do it with dangerous ones. But basically, I just took something that she was already familiar with and applied it to firearms. So she got it. She had questions. She wanted to see what it was. She asked if she could go try it out. I told her not yet. When she gets a little older, she could. But I did take her out to go use a paintball gun. Okay? And we took that in the backyard. She loved it. She had a blast. So after explaining to her what a firearm is and how they could be dangerous, but you don't have to be afraid of them, I went ahead and we ended up testing her about a day or two later just to see how she was going to react. We told her that if you ever see a firearm somewhere, a gun somewhere, you need to go get mommy, daddy, or an adult. So we ended up, again, grabbed handgun. My wife and I both made sure there was no magazine and the firing pin had been removed, and placed it on the floor somewhere where we could see it, but she didn't really know we were watching. She comes running through the hallway, sees it lying on the ground, stops immediately, and comes and looks for us. So we had that test to make sure that she wasn't going to go and grab it and do something. So that worked really well, and I've done that test a couple of times and had the talk with her a few times as well. As my younger one gets a little bit older, we're going to have the same discussion with them, or with her. So it's something you need to take seriously. It's something that you need to start young, and I find that it's very helpful to draw a parallel to something your kids are already interested in. Like I said, my oldest loves spiders, and there are ones that are very dangerous, and with all of them, we tell her, don't ever touch them, but come get mommy and daddy and we'll help you if you want to see one. We took that and applied it to firearms. So if your kids are interested in cars or are interested in bees or whatever it is, find a way to make a parallel to something new. Firearms in this instance, you know. You can look, but you can't touch, and you need to come get mommy and daddy was really important. Don't ever pick one up, and without mommy and daddy around. So that's really important. And as we get a little bit older and we take the kids out to go shooting, then we'll go ahead and expand on the rest of the rules for firearm safety and how to do that. Right now, the rule is just don't touch them unless, you know, mommy and daddy are there. Which obviously is going to be the case for another 10 years or so. But yeah, I don't want to hide things from them. I don't want this to be a giant mystery. If they're interested in something, my mindset is teach them about it in a safe manner. So that's what we do in our house. Take it for what it's worth. Take what I did and build on it. Make it work for you. But make sure you have that conversation with your kids. If you've got kids and guns in the house, they need to be aware of them, and they need to know what to do should they ever come across one. You don't want an accident to happen. And I know some people out there are going to say you shouldn't test them by putting a safe firearm on the floor and let them find it. Well, it worked for me. I'm comfortable with doing that, and we made sure it was safe. If you don't like that part, then don't do that. But you need to make sure that they're going to follow the rules, and that's one way to do it. So take that as one point of reference, something that has worked as a suggestion, and go from there. Anyway, hope someone found that useful, and we'll do this again another day.